from diverse backgrounds. We're fortunate to have Jake as our student speaker today to represent the graduating class of 2009.
Thank you. I had to get a sip of Sandy's Roy. Another sip. I'm a little nervous. Pardon me for the self-indulgence for a moment. I want to give a personal shout-out and a thank you to Dr. Mallory McDuff for her effect on me. I want to give a big thank you to Kelly Kelbo for the influence that she's had on me and my development of critical thinking. I want to give a thank you to my family. I want to give a thank you to Chaz, somewhere out there, for walking me home last night. And I want to thank all of you. Thank you. So y'all, it's been a year since the last commencement speech that I had the pleasure of attending here. And I forgot how stiflingly boring they can be. And that's no offense, it's just I think it's the nature of the beast. So I want to thank you all for the honor of asking me to do this for you. And I also want to thank you for the dauntingly imposing task of spicing things up a bit. So rest assured, there's going to be spandex. This whole thing is going to be as interactive as possible. So what you can expect is that embedded in this speech, there's going to be at least 3 cliches. Some of them are going to be themed around graduation, right, and some of them are not. But what I need you to do is when you hear one of these cliches is to yell out cliche. And there's going to be a little bit of a reward for each one, right? I want y'all to know that friends and loved ones of graduates are welcome to participate in this. So let's see. Let's try this together, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a cue first. On the first day of freshman orientation. Y'all are on top of it because that's not even the part that I was supposed to cue you on the first day of freshman orientation, my parents told me that they expected me to graduate when hell freezes over. Okay, true. All right, people with the party poppers. Well, Mom and Dad, apparently there are icicles on Hell's Higher Hills, and honestly, they're actually very supportive. But so great job. The next one is going to be a little bit more subtle, but y'all have been through at least 4 years, maybe plus or minus 2 years, of higher education, so I expect that you'll be able to pick up on them. Okay, so now for real. I want to thank you, Dr. Pfeiffer. I want to thank you, Board of Trustees. And I want to thank you, friends and loved ones of, most importantly, the graduating class of 2009. Who, right, at this point I imagine, well, we all kind of look like the Order of Merlin. So on a more serious note, I think that it's suiting that we're all here on the lawn of Sunderland, and in such close proximity to Vining. To me, it makes me feel like everything has really come full circle from when days that we experienced this place for the first time.
Cliche!
All right, cool it. I guess I'm just going to give you a hint each time. I'll tell you when you yell cliche, okay? So we came here, we were nervous. I was acne-ridden. People said my head was too big for my body. I was socially inept. I was depressed. I was angry, full of hate. I was downright despondent and disturbed. Cliche. All right, cliche of a freshman. It's not actually the way it is. was I? Right. So when we all first got here, we were vulnerable. We were subject to a new culture. We were subject to a new culture that was established by older students, cooler students, as well as faculty, staff, and professors. There were customs and norms that we weren't used to. Our predecessors had shaped Wilson to reflect their own personalities, their own passions, and their own interests. I want to say that I am extremely proud. I'm extremely proud of the graduating class of 2009 because we have shaped something here called a culture, sure, from which students of the future will benefit continuously. In my experience, this culture looks like people challenging themselves, as well as one another in classes, in lunchrooms, late night in dorm rooms, and around fires on dogwood. It looks like people challenging one another to engage in critical discourse about the consequences of how we define and redefine ourselves, as well as those around us, as well as the global socio-political landscape. Can I get a hell yeah? This legacy practically and concisely looks like skyrocketing numbers of voting members in the student caucus. Yeah, seriously. It looks like people organizing to make new work crews. It looks like stencils and graffiti with a conscience around campus. You can taste the local in our cafeterias. It sounds like people partying, and it sounds like people dancing in spaces defined by the fact that they are free of sexual violence. Folks, we have learned so many positive ways of how to interact with one another, and we practice affecting change here that we want to see. It's time to take those lessons, pardon me, this is emotional, and catalyze change on a much, much grander scale. Outside of this place, beware barefoot activists, there are shards of broken glass. There's a lot of work to do in this world, in case you haven't noticed, and as Wilson students, I'm sure that you have. The proverbial shit has hit the fan. Thanks, this kind of this one's a little, okay. I would like to, but there's no more spandex underneath. Kelly Kelbel told me, I was like, what do I do to make myself feel calm in front of all these people? And I've heard this thing of like, make sure, imagine people naked in the crowd. But that's weird, one. And two, it leaves entirely too much to the imagination with all of us in robes. She told me to wear spandex, and she was right. I feel a lot cooler up here. Okay, let me get through. So y'all, right, the proverbial shit at the fan, huh? In our industrialized society, there is what Paul Farmer calls structural violence. This is violence on a large scale, and it's a series of forces ranging from gender inequality to heterosexism to environmental devastation and power that structures unequal access to goods and services. We need large transformations in the social, the economic, the political, as well as the cultural sphere of this country. Hell, we need it globally. And privileged people, get this, privileged people have the responsibility to make that transformation. Yeah, I'm glad I just happened. Because we as graduates are privileged. Whether we are the first person in our family to attend college, or like me, you're the last of all the siblings to attend college. Whether you're a person of color, black with a capital B, brown, yellow, tan, Rasta, or white, and most likely